Bula Vinaka boxing fans, well, we have an undisputed light heavyweight champion, the first since Roy Jones Jr., Superman. Artur Beterbiev, the monster, has won a 12-round majority decision, 114-114, 116-112, and 115-113. How did I see this fight going? Well, as you know, I predicted Artur Beterbiev to win the fight. I had no idea or didn't think that he could win on points unless he got a few knockdowns, which he didn't. I thought that Bivol would come out and win the early rounds, and I felt that Beterbiev would get to Bivol eventually, start walking him down, start throwing more of those effective clubbing punches as he does, and he would wear out Bivol late and then stop him late. And part of what I said started to happen, although Bivol still hung in there and was able to get off those combinations. I felt like there were a lot of swing rounds. I felt like the first 3, maybe 4 rounds was all Bivol, and I think from 5 onwards, bar except round 9, I gave back to Bivol, was Beterbiev either winning them comfortably or just edging them. But I find it very hard to give 8 rounds to Beterbiev and only 4 to Bivol. I feel like 115-113 is a really, really good score, or the 114-114. I could see it going 6-6. After that fight, I didn't feel like Bivol had won, but I kind of thought, will they just give it to Bivol because of, Matchroom, DAZN, and that he was throwing a lot of those flashy combinations. But then I thought, well, are they going to look at the pressure that Beterbiev was engaging throughout the whole fight? So there were so many things, but Eddie Hearn, to go off on a tangent around that 116-112, fair play, but I think Hearn is really facing it now. How many of his fighters have constantly lost? His best fighter now, hands down his best, has just lost, which is Dimtri Bivol. So I think that a lot of the frustration was that. I mean, I didn't agree either. Most people wouldn't have agreed of the 116-112. But the way that Eddie Silver Spoon Hearn, went on and on about like some great robbery. No, none of the judges thought it was a robbery. I thought 114-114 was a fair fight, but I saw it either a draw or Beterbiev winning. I don't see a scenario where I can think that Bivol took 7 rounds and beat Beterbiev. Had he got a knockdown, then of course Bivol would have won that fight, and vice versa. It would have been even more comprehensive for Beterbiev. But the fact that there was no knockdowns, and you want to say that, on the flip side, you want to say that Bivol won 7 rounds and only Beterbiev won 5, I just don't think you can say that. Because from basically rounds 5 onwards, bar 9, Beterbiev was on the front foot. He held us into the ring. He was landing a lot of the cleaner, more effective punches. Just look at the fight at the end. Whose face was marked up more? So yeah, I think the right man won, but I also think that it could have been a draw. And what that means is I want to see a rematch. And I have a feeling if there is a rematch, I feel Artur Beterbiev will knock Dimtri Bivol out this time, because now he knows. We got to realize this guy just had surgery about 5-6 months ago, and he's from knee surgery, and he hadn't fought since January. Before that, it was a year out. The guy is fighting once a year. Dimtri Bivol has been a little bit more consistent with his fights, hadn't had any surgery. The younger fighter. I think this time, if they rematch, Beterbiev will know what he needs to do, and I think he will target Dimtri Bivol's body more, because you can see those punches. Even he said it as well. I was trying to punch him. I think he was meaning the head. If he just goes in there, bulldozers, and starts working their body, that movement that Bivol had would slow down even faster. And then I think by mere exhaustion, Bivol will actually fade and probably get knocked out. So that's my thoughts. Bivol could look to go up to cruiserweight. You know, you could say, oh, this is just too... Or there's the rematch with Canelo now. You know, he could go down to 168 and try and challenge Canelo for all the undisputed middleweight belts. I don't know if he should take a rematch against Artur, because I have a feeling it's going to go even worse for him. That's just my opinion. Yeah, so that's it. I'll do a separate video on some of the other fights. I'm going to do Jaya Pataya, Jack Massey, and Fraser Clark and Fabio Wardley in another video. But that's it from me. Where to for Artur? Where to for Dimtri? Where do you want to see Bivol and Beterbiev next? Do you want to see a rematch? Who do you think won this fight? And did you think it was a robbery? As always, thanks for watching Seru Boxing Undisputed. Vinaka Bakalevu.